Hello, I'm Mark Hammett, minister of the Weber Road Church of Christ in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I'd like to invite you to the Weber Road Church of Christ if you're ever in our area on a Wednesday night or a Sunday. And we have Bible classes and worship. They're also mostly available online. If you look at our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, many of those resources can be found there. I would like to offer, before we get to our daily devotional and Bible reading, a free Bible correspondence course by mail. And if you'd like to study the Bible on your own, if you're a member of the church, if you're just someone who's curious, someone that would like to study a little more in depth than just reading the Bible, these are great studies. There are many of them that we can send to you. All we need is your name and your full address, including any apartment number that you may have, and your zip code. We'll mail those to you. You can mail them back whenever you would finish those. You can go through them at your own pace with your own Bible. Again, fill them out, mail them to us, and if you would like another course, we'll continue to mail those as long as you're interested. But we'd like to offer that to you free of charge. Please turn to Mark chapter 12. Mark chapter 12 is where our reading will come from in just a few moments. There's a story about an eye-catching ad in a Milwaukee, Wisconsin newspaper, the classified section. It had big, bold letters advertised, Used Tombstone, of all things. The ad's text read as follows: Used tombstone for sale. Real bargain to someone named Dingo. For more information, call, and then they gave the number. Interesting, isn't it? I mean, the image of a used tombstone may at first seem very grim and very depressing. But if you think again, a used tombstone means that its previous owner no longer has any need for that particular tombstone. It's a cast-off. It's unnecessary. Well, Christ's resurrection conveys the same message. The tomb is empty. Jesus did not need a tomb for more than those 3 days. The stone that closed the grave is no longer needed because Jesus Christ was risen. Think about how that gives us the hope, the expectation of heaven when we are obedient and faithful to God. We're going to read, as I mentioned, from Mark chapter 12, and this is a passage about Jesus, and it's actually called the parable of the tenants. Mark chapter 12, starting in verse 1. And he began to speak to them parables. A man planted a vineyard and put a fence around it and dug a pit for the winepress and built a tower and leased it to tenants and went to another country. When the season came, he sent a servant to the tenants to get them some of the fruit of the vineyard. And they took him and beat him and sent him away empty-handed. Again he sent to them another servant, and they struck him on the head and treated him shamefully. And he sent another, and they killed him. And so with many others, some they beat and some they killed. He had still one other, a beloved son. Finally he sent him to them, saying, They will respect my son. But those tenants said to one another, He is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and the inheritance will be ours. And they took him and killed him and threw him out of the vineyard. What will the owner of the vineyard do? Jesus asked. Will he come and destroy the tenants and give the vineyard to others? Have you not read this scripture? The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. And they were seeking to arrest him, but feared the people, for they perceived that he had told the parable against them. And so they left him and went away. One of the things you might take from that reading is that Jesus was not afraid to tell the truth. No matter what may come his way, no matter how offensive his words were to those leaders of the Jewish people, Jesus spoke the truth. The truth certainly is something that should be in our hearts and on our lips. And we should never be afraid to tell the truth of God to the world. May the Lord bless you richly as you seek to follow His will.